Hey, what's up everybody? Prospector here with Watcher Realms. Welcome to the channel. I have something really excited for you today. I know I released a single target arena video not that long ago featuring Salazar, but I have a new one. And there's a bit of drama to discuss about what's going on with this team. But anyways, without further ado, let's dig in. Alright, so here I am in Overlord. My ranking right now is 355. I think my defenses are doing mediocre. They're back and forth. The team that I'm using here is particularly hard to set a defense for, and it's not a Valderon team. And if you've been following my channel, you probably know somewhat what it is like. But you can see here that single target arena and the higher end, pretty much Overlord and up, is just swamped with Valderon, Ardia, Salazar, Cyrene, and Eloin. Now the way that Salazar works, he's really hard to beat. He's still very top tier. If you want to try to integrate him into this team that I'm using, you can. The reason that he works so well though is he basically, when he uses his ult, when that last enemy comes out for each wave, and it just immediately destroys the enemy as soon as he walks forward, and he's the quickest at this. There's nobody that's going to be any quicker than him. He's really hard to beat. But there's a way to beat this team in particular. With a Salazar combo of a sort might be a different story. But you can see, like, all these teams, they're all the same. Some have Narvi, some have Cyrene. Most of them have, well, they have a Sun Wukong here. I would argue against that with the Valderon team. I would say that you're probably better off with a Salazar. But yeah, they're all pretty much the same. Some kind of quick, like, gut shot hero that is going to pretty much annihilate the enemy as soon as he walks through the door. Now, this might be a little bit of a surprise, but this is the team that we're going to be using. We have Xena. So if you've watched the last single target arena video, Xena is like the key to beating Valderon. The reason is because getting Valderon on the field takes a long time. So you have to put out Cyrene and try to get a cost generator going to try to get your heroes out fast enough so you don't have to worry about it. But with Xena, her first deployment cost is only 11, and the damage that she kicks out when her ultimate is going when she's first deployed is insane, okay? Absolutely insane. Now we also have Kagiri in there. Now he does the Ember Strike or Sweeping Strike, but we're shooting for an Ember Strike, of course. And Kagiri is awakened level 5. So he's kicking out a ton of damage and he needs it. It's kind of, with Valderon, you can get away with a lot less awakenings on a lot of the heroes, but with this particular team, you need the awakenings and you need their artifacts all maxed out, their exclusive artifacts, and their gear has to be immaculate. It's not a team for the weak. It's not a team for free to play, but this same team could push you through single target arena much higher even if you have lesser awakenings. But I'm going to go ahead right away and say it, as that you are going to need an awakened 3 Kagiri and an awakened 1 Sun Wukong at the minimum to even make the team really work. Now with Sun Wukong, he's kind of the same as Salazar, but he's a bit slower. So Sun Wukong will do a really good job kind of sniping those enemies as soon as they come out, but his animation is what the problem is. The amount of time it takes for his clones to kind of pop up and then go and attack the target, that gives Salazar an advantage overall in the later rounds, and it's highly unlikely that you are going to take the rest of those rounds. But the key fact is here that Xena is going to take such a lead in the beginning that it does not going to matter. You're not going to catch up. He's going to increment you down by like 4%, 6%, 4%, but hopefully you have him down to 80% before he even starts getting Salazar out on the field. Corridor is there for the Lord bonus and the decreased defense. Trust me, it helps much more than you think it would. But there's other ways to do this as well, because you could take Torador off of the team and run your Leia, okay? So you could run Leia, maybe you could drop Eloin and run another single target hero like Salazar or Valeria, something along those lines that can really help you out, kind of gut shot those enemies. But I'm going to skip through the gear for now, or do the gear later, and we're going to go right into a fight so I can showcase exactly how this works. We're going up against Alex, You can see we have a really high BP. This is going to slow them down a little bit and at least make their gear requirements much higher in order to compete. So the first thing you're going to do is go ahead and get Xena out as soon as you can. Place her facing up right here. Xena is the best for this, but there is other options. Ideally, you can get Xena to down the enemy within 2 hits. It can be difficult depending on how far you are in arena and what kind of enemy you're going at, so what the BP of your enemy is. But if you can get it down in 2 hits, you have a much higher chance of winning the fight because he'll have more HP taken off of him before he gets Valderon out on the field. Here comes Valderon. You can see probably usually 2 shots, sometimes more. See, we're already down to that 80%. Xena is still in her ultimate. Another reason why she needs her skill ups. Now, as soon as Xena kills that enemy, go ahead and pick her up, and we're going to go ahead and put Kagiri here. For the 3rd and 4th wave, this is going to be Kagiri and Sun Wukong's zone. So now we're just going to wait. We're not really worried about this enemy. We're going to use him to activate an Ember Strike when the other enemy comes out. And if you watch the timer, it should be right around 306. 306, 305. So he's going to hit, activate. You should take him out with his Ember Strike. And there you go. That's exactly how it works. We got a little bit more of a lead. Let's get Sun Wukong out on the field. Down to 54.5%. Even if he wins, he will win by such a small amount that he's going to get 4 to 6% little increment hits from Soul Cadence in the center there to our portal. So, well, now we're just waiting. Trying to get Sun Wukong's rage up nice and high. And as soon as that first enemy goes down, you can go ahead and hit the auto ult. And just wait for the other enemy to come down. It's going to be 306 again. And then turn off the auto ult. Now he may not go down immediately. You might not win this round. It really depends. Then we're going to go ahead and we're going to wait on Eloin on this one. And we're going to put Xena back out on the field again. Here comes Xena. And this time we're not going to ult Kagiri or Sun Wukong. We're just going to let Xena take care of it. A little slower, we might take some damage, but it's kind of necessary. As these guys just typically don't get their ults going. You see it's every 5 seconds an enemy spawns, or is it 10 seconds I believe. Now as soon as that enemy goes down, we're going to go ahead and pick up our Xena and get Eloin down. Make sure for the next round that they have their Rage Regen going. Alright, so this first enemy, we're just going to let these guys take care of them. The second one, oh by the way, the last round, the reason we don't use Kagiri to take out the enemies is because Sun Wukong puts too many stuns out and it becomes really reliable when that Ember Strike will hit and he might not even get hit. So with these enemies, they seem to not really get stunned, so we'll wait until he comes out. We'll activate Kagiri. And there he goes. Ember Strike. He's out of here. And as soon as that's done, go ahead and activate your auto casting. And as soon as Sun Wukong goes to attack, you can go ahead and turn it off. There you go. Wipe them out. Alright, so it doesn't usually go this well with the higher level Valderons. It doesn't matter the awakening of the Valderons, by the way. It just matters how good their gear is and how strong and well-timed that Salazar is. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and put down Torador right here to help with the decreased defense. This time, we're going to have 4 enemies. Here goes the first one. There goes the second. We can activate Torador. The third one comes out, we'll use Kagiri. The second from the last enemy, you always want to use Kagiri. Alright, now you can put on your auto casting until the last enemy comes out and Sun Wukong activates, and then turn it off. And there you go. We won that round too. And for this one, we can go ahead and put down Xena in just a moment. We'll wait for this first enemy to get taken down or close to it. Let's get her down. And then we can put down a Wood Elf to make sure that Sun Wukong doesn't get taken out. Here's the second one. Here comes the third. You see the timing on there? Watch the clock, it works really well. You can activate Kagiri for this one. And then you can turn on your auto casting. Now this match, the score is already set. It's going to be so close when they both go down, or typically is, that the score won't move. You can see he stayed at 19%. So by the end of the 7th round, if you have a lead, you typically have him beat. If he has a lead on you, you've lost. Alright, so setting the defenses, you can try it. I've tried many things, and I hopefully after watching this, maybe you figured something out, or you know something that I don't. But the truth is that when you set your defenses with this team, they're pretty easily taken down. I'm gonna be honest with you, it's not that hard to take these enemies, this team down as a defense. As an offense, it's a completely different story. It is destructive. Works the same with Praetus, because it's the same concept. It takes a long time to get Praetus out. You get that big old lead in the beginning there, and then you just try to keep up with them and as best you can until the end of the fight, and you typically win. Now, let's see if I can try to find a little bit of a stronger looking team, because I get a lot of, oh, he's A1, or he's A3, or he's A2, or he's A0, and it's no big surprise that you won that match. Okay, so it does not matter. I'm telling you right now, it does not matter. Well, here's a Praetus team. Let's see if we can take this team on. You never know. I will tell you that too. Sometimes you think you really got this down packed, and every once in a while a really well timed and well built defense can beat you. But same concept. Point her up. Let her take the enemy out. They got Cyrene. You can see it took 3 hits that time. That is because the Praetus team is typically a higher BP. She is missing some skill ups, so getting her fully scaled out is definitely going to help you take that out. Going with Jira as the first unit to go out here. Not sure if it's the greatest choice. We'll see as soon as that Willing Skull gets going. Okay. Now next enemy's coming down. She should be fine to take him out just in time. Now if it takes too long for that enemy to, or for the Jira or whatever to take his enemy out over here, there's a chance that you might struggle with the next wave, or the second wave. Comes Kagiri. You didn't know the first 2 rounds are 1 enemy, the next 2 rounds after that are 2 enemies, next 2 rounds after that are 3 enemies, and the last 2 rounds are 4 enemies. Alright, so remember, this is 2 enemies now. It's coming out, he's a swinging. 306, the other enemy should spawn. We're gonna hold off on Sun Wukong, I think, just a moment. Yes, I want to hold off. I don't want him putting stuns out there where I can't hit him, right? So now here comes the enemy. He's going to swing at me. Activate. Take him out. And then we can go ahead and put down Sun Wukong. That was a little slow, but still. We got the round. And now there's a good chance that we may not win another round. But we're already at 52.5%. If we lost all of them by the fraction of a second, you're looking at, what, 4 times 5, like 20% max we should lose. It really depends on how fast he takes these enemies out. Now remember, this one, we're just waiting for this enemy to die, and then we can put on auto cast. It's another round with 2 enemies, so when this enemy comes out, Sun Wukong will activate, and we will turn it off again. Now there's a chance here you might lose a little bit, more than you'd expect. That is because of the BP. It's a BP issue. Alright, here comes the next one. Same concept here. You see how he stuns? I'm gonna go ahead and activate Kagiri. Oh shoot, it didn't work. So we might have some damage here, which kind of sucks. That is okay. I'll go ahead and activate Sun Wukong. Another round lost. I'll show you how it barely matters. 89 to 83. He's at 52.5%. We're still sitting here strong. Did it a completely different way this time. It doesn't seem to really matter. I've done it both ways. The other way is the way I prefer to do it though. Taking out Xena again, and then putting Ella in after you cover her back. Okay, so we're gonna pull off Xena. And then I'm gonna go ahead and just spam click Sumu Kong, because otherwise Kagiri will activate. Get Torador out. Look at the damage we're taking. It usually goes much smoother than that. Definitely go the other way. Alright, so the last wave here, well, kind of. Activate Torador. I'm going to activate Kagiri now. I'm going to go ahead and put a Wood Elf down. This is the second enemy. Here comes the third. And then activate your auto casting. We should be pretty solid yet. Even if we lose this, we hopefully take him out quickly. Ooh, 51.5. See, we lost that match. I will show you that he's beatable. I'll do it the other way. First enemy. Second enemy. Go ahead and put down Xena again. Remember that every single time she gets out on the field, she increases her damage. Here's the third. Activate Torador. And then you can put on auto cast. Unless he messes up here in the end, which is unlikely, we lost. Once we got the round, so you're going to see that the health bars aren't going to change and the round is going to end. It's a good example to show what happens here. Now, let me rerun this one and go with the way that I did it the first time. That's the way I used to run it. That's why I ended up doing it this way. Then I will show you the gear. Where'd he go? He's right here. Alright, let's go. Getting serious now. A5 Praetus is a strong team. It's a strong team. Alright. You want to get her down as soon as you can. And this is why I really want her scaled out. I think that I think it's like 10% on the basic. And then there's a little bit for the, like another 5% for the first deployment or per deployment that I should get. So it should be a huge, pretty big chunk of damage that we're looking at. Alright, here comes the next one. Just take him out, Xena. As soon as he's gone, go ahead and pick her up. And we're going to put down Kagiri. Only down to 60%, so we have even less room this time. Same thing as before. We're going to wait until the second enemy shows himself, and then we'll use the first enemy's hit in order to activate Kagiri's Ember Strike. But we are going to wait until he comes out. Here he comes. Activate. You can go ahead and put Sumu Kong down. Perfect. Another win. 56.5%. We got one enemy. We'll have the second in a moment. Okay, I was a little late on my activation. I kind of wrecked things up a little bit, huh? Alright, now we're going to place down our Xena and not activate anybody else. Just let Xena do it. One, two. All right. And here comes the third. Three. As soon as this enemy's gone, go ahead and pick up Xena, put down Eloin. We got a little tick of damage there. Now we have another 3 enemies, but these ones will react to Kagiri's Ember Strike. Go ahead and activate them when the second enemy shows up. And then we'll put on auto casting. And turn it off. Another tick of damage to our health. This is okay. It is not a surprise. 1. Need to get a wood elf down as soon as possible. Second enemy. Third one should pop his face in a moment. Alright, Kagiri. Autocast. And turn it off. We got another tick of damage. Like I said, Sun Wukong is not as fast as Salazar. It's unlikely that you're going to win that between Salazar and the final judgment or final verdict from, or verdict of truth from Kratos is really, really quick. We can go ahead and put down Xena again. Now we just need to survive these rounds here. Wood Elf again for Sun Wukong. The third enemy's coming. Activate Kagiri. Take him out, then auto cast. And the match should be ours. There we go. The round was lost, but you don't lose any health. You just need to secure that. Even if you did, it would be such a small tick again. It'd be like another 4 or 6%. Got him on lockdown. And this is why your defenses are interesting, because the different kind of teams that kind of come up to you. Kratos is kind of weird. There's another team, well, there's Valderon, and there's another team yet with Luguru and Salazar that do pretty much the same thing as Valderon and Salazar. And that team performs really well against this team, actually. So let's look for, I'm going to refresh again. I want to look for a stronger Valderon. Well, we have an A3 here. Looks to be typical. This looks like a pretty tough team, except for Magda's little, not really awakened or leveled. Let's go with this one. We'll try one more team, and I'm going to show you the gear, and then we'll end the video. It's like I said, if you have the Valderon team, it's going to be a lot easier for you to just use that. But if you have this team, you can definitely farm these whales up here. Farm them up. Get those Apex coins. And obviously you can get yourself into Apex Overlord at the end of the week if it ends on single target arena, which is pretty useful. I think it's like 1,500 coins you get for that. It's really nice. We lost the second round. Little better timed of a team. You see, you never know. Okay, so we got Kagiri coming out. Now we have 2 enemies. This one might be a little tight. Let's see here. It really depends on how well they set up those defenses, and they are finicky. You have to spend a lot of time on it, testing your auto battles, and it is difficult. Trust me. Next one is Wukong, which we're just kind of hoping that Kagiri, oh, he just swiped him. We didn't want that to happen. We wanted to make sure that Sun Wukong got some more clones out to make sure his ult was ready in time. It might not quite be ready. Let's set up the auto cast just in time. Probably gonna lose this one though. Ooh, we got him, we got him. It seems like with Valderon, either he wins the second round or loses the 4th one. There's a round that he always ends up losing. First enemy. This is 3 enemies, remember, this time. And this one we want to get our Xena out of the field. Again, because he gets stunned. So if you watch him stunned, and he doesn't end up hitting Kagiri half the time. So you just have to pull Xena back out. Second enemy's out. Here comes the third. There he is. Save Wukong. Just let Xena take care of it. Even if you lose that one. We're gonna go ahead and get Alwyn back out on the field. This first enemy. This is gonna have 3 enemies, remember? You could set your Wukong back and put Torador up here if you wanted to. I don't think it really matters. Well, no, it does, because when the ult activates, you can activate when the enemy comes out of this portal. So you kind of want to get him close. Kagiri. Ember Strike him, take him out. And then auto cast. See, with this ultimate, it covers that square, so you can activate his ultimate whenever an enemy is in this area. There you go, let's get the auto cast off. Perfect. Another round. 98%. Not too bad going against an A3 Valderon, huh? Now we have 4 enemies to contend with here. We're gonna get our Torador out. Try to help with the drop defense. Hopefully take the enemies out a little faster before we lose our Sun Wukong. Go ahead and put out a Wood Elf. We're gonna get that Kagiri out. Make sure you don't activate Torador before a decreased defense goes out. That can really mess up your run. And then turn off the autocast. And this match is ours. We won it by a good chunk. It even worse, down to 37.5%. See what I mean? People don't spend a lot of time setting up their Valderon teams. You have to set those defenses right. It's really hard. It just really is a pain. That's kind of Moonton's fault, to be honest with you. So he's not really getting overrun. I know a lot of people are really mad about this team here. I figured it out on stream and even got it even more figured out now that running Kagiri is your better option versus Salazar. But that all being said, it doesn't really break the Valderon teams. What it does is it makes you accountable for your Valderon teams. It's holding the Valderon teams accountable. You have to have good gear. You have to have your defenses set right. You have to play PvP arena. It's not just like, just get a hero, plop them down on the field, and then everything's golden. You can beat this team, but you have to set that up just perfectly, okay? Comes the third, last enemy here. You cannot be lazy about it. You have to put some time into your defenses. Do a lot of thinking with your gear. Put a lot of effort into it. Okay, so let's go over the gear, and then I'm going to end the video. Like I said, I can beat most of the Valderon teams because people don't put a lot of effort into it, like I've been saying. You can set this up to beat me, okay? But you have to set it up right. You just have to set it up right. Alright, so let's go to Xena. And I'm going to go right to her skills quick. And I'm going to show you the 10% damage on her basic. I'm kind of hoping that when I get that skilled out, that even against like the Praetus teams, that she can still two-shot those enemies in the first 2 waves. That it's going to make a huge difference. Seconds, fractions of a second count. And then this one here, we have the permanent damage increase for each deployment. I can get another 3% out of this. And for each deployment, I mean. And it will stack up to 48% total. This should make a big difference. You get an extra 15% total on the first deployment. Yeah, this should make a big difference. I'm hoping that works out. Infernal Roar on Xena. And I also want to mention that my Xena is also Awakened level 1. We're looking for attack bonus, attack speed, crit rate, crit damage, and flat attack. On the amulet, you want attack bonus, attack speed, crit rate, crit damage. If you have the piece, which I obviously don't, you want to go with flat attack. And the same thing here, attack bonus, attack speed, crit rate, crit damage, and flat attack. On the left side, Warlord, crit rate, crit damage, attack bonus, and flat attack. And then Warlord, weapon, crit rate, crit damage, attack bonus, and it's HP bonus, but it doesn't really matter what you put there. Artifact. Well, and I guess unless you have one of those like Freak of Nature pieces that has attack speed or something there as well, that'd be great. Artifact, you want to go with the Eye of Sin. I don't like to go with the Wailing Skull. It doesn't increase her damage consistently. This is AoE damage that she's doing, and this is going to increase it by 20%, and then when killing enemies grants an extra 10% AoE damage bonus that lasts for 3 seconds. That typically doesn't come into play. It's just the extra 20% AoE damage. Now we can go right over to Sun Wukong, and you can see I have a golden cudgel on him at level 19. Working this up, I'm just going to keep farming these guys up and hopefully get this maxed out. But it increases damage by a certain percentage, and then it's summoning Sage's Clone additionally restores 6% rage. That's why sometimes I don't want Kagiri to be sweeping these guys, especially in the earlier phases when timing is of the essence. But we'll go to his gear now. Soulborn Arcana, and I have a crazy Wicked Vengeance on the left side. I'll show you in a minute. Soulborn Arcana, you're looking for attack bonus, attack speed, crit rate, attack bonus, and rage regen. I don't have this in attack bonus, but it seems to work just fine with the crit damage from what you could see. And then we go same thing here. Look at attack speed. This is what we're running. The reason is that he's hitting those enemies when he first comes out, and I need that rage. I need that rage for when you first put him down. He has to take care of that second enemy when he comes out. And if he's not fast enough, he doesn't have enough rage, he will not be ready for this ult, and you will lose too much of your health in the process. On the ring, you want attack bonus, attack speed, crit rate, crit damage, and rage regen. Again, I remember, like, I want this piece to look exactly like this one, but I don't have it, so we have to do with what we have. Now, I have a Wicked Vengeance set here. It's a little wild. We have attack speed, crit rate, crit damage, and attack bonus. These exclusive pieces are pretty much able to be very broken. So even though the crit damage plus 40% and a 10% attack is less ideal than having the 25% attack and attack speed from Warlord, you're getting some attack speed here, 74, right? And yeah, the attack is going to be a little lower, but it doesn't make up for what you would lose from switching out to this. This is very overpowered, even if it's not an exclusive for this hero. You got these rolls on it, you're good to go. On the breastplate, a crit rate, crit damage, attack bonus, and flat attack. Total stats, and I'll go over Xena's in just a moment. I apologize, I did not. We have 37k HP, 20.4k attack, 1.3 second attack interval, and 379% crit damage, almost a 70% rage regen. Going back to Xena quick to show you the stats because I forgot. 41.4k HP, 26.8k attack. Remember, she boosts her attack, so getting her attack really high is really good. And then she has a 1.5 second attack interval, and she's crit capped and 312% crit damage. And then let's go on to Kagiri. Kagiri's build is pretty decent as well. Very odd, right? We're running him in an Infernal Roar set. It is very odd for him. I want that 40% attack boost to his basic as soon as possible. The reason being is he comes out and he has to kind of take care of those enemies by himself starting off, and that basic attack is really valuable. And plus he gets that increase in damage anyways from his ultimate. It's so much, you could see it did plenty of damage. But we're looking for attack bonus, attack bonus, attack bonus. You want to try to get pieces like this: attack speed, crit rate, crit damage, and rage regen, just to make sure he comes back to his ult enough. I seem to do okay with around 30% rage regen, and my Pantheon bonus is pretty high, which gives me an extra 40% rage regen there. On the left side, we have Warlord, attack bonus, crit rate, crit damage, and then we have another crit rate, crit damage, attack bonus, and flat attack breastplate. On the artifact, his artifact is maxed out. Both him and Sun Wukong are awakened level 5. Like I said before, this isn't super necessary. It's just going to make things a lot easier for you in the long run, and you probably won't go into Apex Overlord if you don't have these requirements met. But you can definitely play around in Overlord. Now, Torador. Torador is nothing special. He has a morale set on. He has a Warlord set just to try to drive his BP up a little bit. try to make it harder for the enemy to keep up. And that was kind of the idea, is to try to see how much can I push my opponent's Salazar to not be able to one-shot the enemies when they come out. If you don't have a really strong team, you're not going to cut it. Alright, so morale, it's just HE bonus, attack bonus, raid regen, just random stuff pretty much, and then crit damage attack bonus with some HP on it, and some flat defense on this one here. For the artifact, he's in a tuning crystal. This will help him do a little bit of damage, do a little bit of healing on himself. Nothing too crazy going on. Torador is awakened level 1, and I believe he is max skilled. But he also puts out this defense reduction, which is key to making sure those last, like, wave 6 and 7 are not an issue. And then we have Elwyn. Little Miss Elwyn. Nothing special either. Invigoration. This is going to put invigoration buff on your Kagiri. And she's just running Light's Grace on the left side, making her very fast. Have some healing effect. Have some rage regen. High attack. She doesn't need any HP, so you don't have to worry about that. Just boost up her attack to keep her allies alive. And then for the artifact, I went with a euphoric orb. Alright guys, that's all I have for today's video. I hope you found it helpful. I hope you have a good time in Single Target Arena after this. Enjoy your time with Subukong, Kagiri, and Xena, and get out there and just demolish those Valderon teams. It's a lot of fun once you can actually start to compete. Also, I think we should come up with a name for the team, shouldn't we? Let me know down in the comments section what you think we should call this team. A great team needs a great name. But anyways, hope you found this video helpful. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for tuning in, and until next time, keep digging.